What if the universe is not silent because no one is out there, but because everyone who is out there is simply too far away to matter? For decades, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence has been guided by a quiet intuition. If the universe is ancient, and if stars are abundant, then intelligent life should be nearby, close enough that signals overlap, close enough that someone, somewhere, should already know we exist. But what if that expectation was never realistic? What if intelligence is not clustered, not synchronized, and not arranged in a way that allows conversation at all? Recent models suggest that the nearest technologically capable civilization may lie tens of thousands of light-years away, on the far side of the Milky Way. Not hidden, not hostile, not silent by choice, just separated by time, distance, and the speed of light itself. Tonight, we are not asking whether intelligence exists elsewhere. We are asking something more unsettling. Even if it does, could it ever be close enough to matter? On Earth, distance feels negotiable. A few hours connect cities. A day connects continents. Even the farthest places on the planet feel reachable with enough technology, fuel, and planning. We carry that intuition with us when we look at the stars. If intelligent life exists, we assume it must be somewhere reasonably nearby. The galaxy does not agree. The Milky Way spans roughly 100,000 light-years, containing hundreds of billions of stars distributed across a rotating disk, a dense central bulge, and a diffuse halo. From our position roughly 26,000 light-years from the galactic center, we do not even see our own galaxy, as it is only fragments delayed by time. At this scale, 33,000 light-years is not a neighbor. It is not across the street. It is nearly a third of the galaxy's diameter. Light traveling that distance left its source before humans learned agriculture, before writing, before cities, before history. Distance in space is distance in time, and this is where the intuition collapses. The idea that intelligent civilizations should be close to one another rests on an assumption rarely stated out loud, that intelligence arises frequently, evenly, and predictably across the galaxy. Astrophysics suggests otherwise. The inner regions of the Milky Way are crowded, energetic, and violent, rich in radiation, frequent supernovae, and gravitational chaos capable of destabilizing planetary systems. The outer regions are calmer, but poorer in heavy elements required to form rocky planets and complex chemistry. Between these extremes lies a broad, imperfect band sometimes called the galactic habitable zone. But even within this region, suitability does not guarantee life. Stable orbits, long-lived stars, magnetic fields, liquid water, chemical continuity over billions of years. Each requirement narrows the field. Then biology must emerge, persist, survive mass extinctions, and only then might intelligence arise late, fragile, and contingent on countless evolutionary accidents. From the perspective of this channel, intelligence does not appear to be a default outcome of chemistry. It appears to be a rare alignment of time, stability, and survival. Even if intelligence emerges, technological civilization introduces another filter. A society must develop tools, language, cumulative knowledge, and social structures capable of sustaining complexity. It must survive internal collapse, avoid self-destruction, and remain technologically visible long enough to be detected. This is where many optimistic assumptions quietly fail. Civilizations do not broadcast forever. Their detectable phase may be brief compared to cosmic time. Early radio leakage fades. Communication becomes efficient, compressed, directional, and invisible from afar. From the perspective of the SETI Institute, this means detection requires extraordinary coincidence, distance alignment, temporal overlap, and technological compatibility. If civilizations are separated by tens of thousands of light-years and tens of thousands of years in time, then simultaneity becomes rare. The galaxy is not crowded. It is unsynchronized. Physics doesn't just make contact difficult. It defines where meaning breaks. Nothing carrying information can outrun light. Not a radio pulse, not a laser, not a whisper of code. So a message crossing 33,000 light-years does not arrive late. It arrives 33,000 years in the past tense, a historical remnant of whoever sent it. And if we answered, our reply would take another 33,000 years to return, assuming anyone is still there to receive it. By then, the sender may have transformed beyond recognition, gone silent, or vanished entirely. At that point, dialogue stops being a real category. Conversation requires shared time. It requires the ability to correct misunderstandings, to ask follow-up questions, to build common context. Across galactic distances, that feedback loop collapses. Every transmission becomes an artifact, a fossil imprint of thoughts from an era we can never touch. From our perspective, contact becomes archaeology, not conversation. We would not be greeting a neighbor. We would be excavating a moment. The universe permits awareness. It does not permit coordination. It fractures history into layers that never overlap. And that may be why SETI can feel so lonely, not because no one is out there, but because almost no one is now. A common objection remains. If advanced civilizations exist, why does the galaxy not appear transformed? This expectation assumes expansion is inevitable. But expansion is slow, punishingly slow. Interstellar travel demands enormous energy across distances that fracture continuity. Even a civilization capable of star-to-star travel would face journeys lasting centuries or millennia. Expansion would resemble isolated outposts, not a sweeping wave. More importantly, expansion may not be a universal goal. Intelligence evolves to solve local problems, not to fill space. From this channel's perspective, it is entirely plausible that advanced civilizations optimize inward towards sustainability, efficiency, or virtual existence, rather than outward conquest. A galaxy could host many advanced societies while appearing untouched. One of the most difficult shifts in perspective is accepting that intelligence may not be a shared condition at all, but a fundamentally local one. On Earth, awareness feels central, because it is the only awareness we directly experience. We build stories around it. We assume curiosity naturally reaches outward, that understanding seeks contact, that knowledge somehow requires neighbors to be complete. Those assumptions feel intuitive, even comforting, but they are shaped by human scale, not cosmic reality. The universe does not appear to share that bias. Intelligence does not emerge to announce itself. It emerges to survive, to adapt, and to respond to immediate conditions. Its priorities are molded by local environments, nearby resources, and short-term pressures, not by distant possibilities separated by tens of thousands of light-years. Curiosity may exist, but curiosity does not override physics. If advanced civilizations are scattered across the galaxy at such immense distances, then each one effectively inhabits its own universe. The broader Milky Way exists for them only as abstraction, something inferred through observation and theory, not something experienced through interaction. Other minds may be real, but they are not part of lived reality. In that context, isolation is not a flaw or a failure of intelligence. It is the default state imposed by scale. Awareness blooms locally, surrounded by vast silence, not because others are absent, but because they are unreachable. The silence we encounter when we listen to the cosmos is often interpreted through emotion. We hear it as absence, as rejection, as proof that something we hoped for is missing. From a human perspective, silence usually means no one is there, or no one is willing to answer. But at the scale of a galaxy, silence carries no emotional intent. It is not personal. It is geometric. Even a Milky Way filled with intelligent civilizations would feel empty from any single point within it. The distances between minds are so vast that presence cannot accumulate. Signals weaken, overlap rarely, and almost never arrive in time to matter. From where any civilization stands, the rest of the galaxy dissolves into darkness and delay. The emptiness we perceive is not a lack of life, but the result of separation. In this context, loneliness is not a feeling. It is a consequence of relativity. The finite speed of light ensures that influence fades quickly beyond a narrow region of space and time. The universe is not withholding contact or denying connection. It is enforcing distance through its most basic laws. Every civilization, no matter how advanced, occupies a small island of relevance, bounded by time, energy, and light. Beyond that island, awareness may exist, but interaction collapses. Silence, then, is not a message. It is simply the shape of reality. If contact is unlikely and dialogue impossible, why continue the search? Not for conversation, for context. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence is ultimately about understanding what intelligence is allowed to be in this universe. Each non-detection teaches us about time, about fragility, about how narrow the window of visibility may be. Listening is an act of humility. It acknowledges that humanity is not the default outcome of cosmic evolution. Even a single confirmed detection, distant, ancient, unreachable, would transform our understanding of life's place in the universe. And even if no signal is ever found, the search still matters. Because in listening outward, we learn inward. Here on Deep Space Inquiry, we don't listen because we expect an answer. We listen because the silence itself is information. And perhaps the quiet truth beneath all of this is simple. Intelligence does not require companionship to have meaning. Understanding does not depend on response. A civilization can exist, think, and know the universe deeply even alone. The universe may never allow a conversation across the stars. But it allows something else. It allows awareness to arise briefly, locally, and courageously, capable of understanding realities far larger than itself. And that may be enough.